Okay, let's just go live everywhere. Make sure that we are live on all of the platforms. Hey, this is a conversation that I can tell a lot of people have been wanting to have. A lot of people have been wanting to have. A lot of people have been wanting to speak about it. Some wanting to defend their teams. Others wanting to, come at others. There's been talks about benefiting. Hey, it's been lit, it's been lit, it's been lit. Just making sure, guys, I'm just making sure that I am live on all the platforms properly. Because like I said the other day, hey, we're trying new things, guys. I'm also live on Facebook right now. So this is a great time. This is a great time. Just let me know, those who have joined me now, just let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, if everything is going right sound-wise. Mickey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Camelo, you're already swinging. You're already swinging. Hi, man. You're already swinging. Please tell the Motsepe's agent to give me some money too, man. I need some money, Lina, so I can carry on doing these things, man. Just tell them, just a little bit. You can be overthinking Mamelodi Sundowns very quickly. I'm going to start the show. I think we're good. Welcome, everybody, to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena, your host. I do this every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, and then Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. Apologies for today. In the afternoon, I had some technical difficulties. If ever I'm not live and you don't see me live, check my stories. I post on the stories on Facebook and on TikTok. Just to let you guys know when I am experiencing a little bit of an issue, man. So yeah, if you missed out on any of the shows, or you want to listen back to what myself or my amazing panels have had to say about matches, have had to say about a lot of the hot topics in South African football, then you can find those in full on Facebook and on YouTube. You can watch back and find some really other cool content that happens to be there. If you're listening, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube and you're wondering how can you add your show, how can you add your voice to the show, just know that you have to be following me on TikTok. Join me on TikTok when I'm live, and there's a button at the bottom of the screen that says multi-guest that will appear, and you'll be able to request. I get a list of everybody that has requested, and I let in 4 at a time, but I do try and let in as many people as I can. So today's topic came from yesterday. There was a very nice discussion we had with Upra. Ernest, who came on, and he was speaking about Mamelodi Sundowns, and it also comes from, I've seen comments and things as well. I've seen reactions to things we've said, and I want us to have a therapy session. There you go, Sinja. I want us to have a therapy session and speak about this thing, this Sundowns that has come and changed how the league operates and how we feel about it. So just to set the scene, I'll start. I think for me, I don't hate Sundowns. If anything, it's more jealousy than it is hatred. And I'll tell you why. Sundowns is a team that is doing everything in its power to be the best team that Sundowns can be. And as a Chiefs fan myself, somebody who knows what that looks and feels like, right? Who knows what that, early 2000s, for a very long time, I didn't have to question Chiefs. If I had this show back then, you wouldn't find me questioning coaches and Bobby and Mang and all those people. You wouldn't, because they'd be doing everything in their power to make sure that Chiefs is the best, and also that shines well on me. I wouldn't be questioning any signings that were made because I know that it's to get better. That's where Sundowns is right now. And anything that you guys view as hate is just jealousy. I would love my team to be making the best choices for me. I would love my team to be wanting to go get a star, another star, 2 stars, 3 stars, win the league 7 times. And as a Chiefs fan from back then, I understand what that is like, right? That's the first perspective. The second perspective is, guys, if I say that, listen, why aren't the other teams doing more to catch Mamelodi Sundowns, Rulani, and all those people? That's again me looking at the league and saying, these people have won the league 7 times in a row, or they're about to win it for the 7th time in a row, right? They're currently how many points ahead of all of the other teams, right? At some point, you want your teams to be angry. You want the rest of the PSL to say, but guys, we need to do something to stop this. You know, I come on this platform every day and I say, one of the things that scares me about the Sundowns dynamic is that it feels that Coach Rulani, Klopi, and the team in management are the only people losing sleep about how they can keep Sundowns at the top. They're the only people losing sleep. Not any of our teams, not any of the other competitors. There's a reason why they win by 16 points. There's a reason why they're perpetually in CAF. There's a reason why they're about to play the African Football League. There's a reason why they're growing so quickly. And part of it is because our teams are part and parcel of the issue. You guys tell me every day that no, Sundowns is beating everyone because they sign all the best players. Guys, somebody has to agree to sell them these players. Someone has to agree. And if rumors are to be believed, and we speak about teams are blocking Kaizer Chiefs, no, when Kaizer Chiefs knocks on the door, they up the prices. No, surely those same teams could do the same thing to Sundowns. So why aren't they doing that? You know, we have coaches that come out and say, yes, PlayStation. Middendorp was like watching Sundowns, the PlayStation, Abosiyema, and other people have spoken about how it's so shocking. But yet, when you ask them, okay, what are you doing to become a PlayStation? We spoke yesterday. I think Agent spoke yesterday. Who is your mentor? Who are you watching? We all know that Rulani watches a lot of Pep, and he wants to be like Pep, and he wants to coach like Pep, and he takes a lot of Pep's ideas and things like that. So then the question becomes, Mulifinsek, who are you watching? Jose Rivero, who are you watching? Sid Ramovic, who are you watching? Dan Malisela, who are you watching? You know, who are you learning from to get better in order to beat Sundowns? In order to beat Sundowns. A Sundowns team, mind you, that you only play twice. You play them twice. So there's a lot of other points. There's 28 games worth of points that you are not getting points from. So they're doing what they need to do. And I think my last point before I let people in, for me, right, I'm not a person who looks at these teams and says, you must stop doing the thing that is winning you the league. If you've got an advantage, use that advantage as far as you can possibly use it. Use it to the end of the earth. Use every single advantage you can use. If it's money, if it's advanced tactics, if it's facilities, if it's whatever, use it. It's the other team's job to catch and change the situation. It's the other team's jobs to find ways to beat you, to find ways to get around you, right? It's not Sundowns' fault. It's not Sundowns' fault. There was a time when Chiefs and Pirates were on top of everybody in terms of signings and all of that. And I know Sundowns was still winning some leagues there, but Gavin Hunt found a way to win the league. With SuperSport 3 times in a row and with Bidvest, they found ways. But now I feel like we're letting these people off the hook. We're letting all these people off the hook. Oh, Sia just said something. You can't beat money. Guys, Sundowns isn't the richest team in the league. Just by the way, if we're going by ownership, Sundowns is not the richest team in the league. Stellenbosch's owner is 4 times richer than Motsepe. 4 times. Johan Rupert. So if you guys think Motsepe has it easy in spending money and he's got excess money and all of that stuff, there's a guy who's 4 times richer than him, who's literally in the league. He has a team called Stellenbosch United, Stellenbosch FC. So then the question again, you look at the teams and you say, how come you guys aren't spending the monies? How come you guys aren't developing? You look at SuperSport. SuperSport is owned by a multinational company. Multinational. Which means that if they wanted to, they could also put in money. Back in the day, I use the examples. Back in the day, Morocco Swallows was owned by a European billionaire, Dieter Bock. He could have spent the money if he wanted it. But Chiefs, but Pirates, we don't even speak about them. So there's teams that can spend. And, oh, by the way, again, fine, don't be Sundowns. Don't be Sundowns. Great. We scratch it and we say number 1 is Sundowns and one spot in the Champions League is Sundowns' spot. Great, let's cut it out. Nah? Why then is number 2 16 points, 19 points, 3, 20, 25 points, 30 points, 40 points? What do we say to that? Sundowns buys all the best players. Great, we've got that argument down. Why aren't the other ones winning? Why aren't the other ones closing the gap when you only play them twice, like I've said? Why aren't the others saying, I want to go play in the Champions League, I want to go play in the Confederations League? And if, again, I'm going back, for me, it's not hatred of Sundowns, it's jealousy of Sundowns. Because Sundowns have made the proper signings, have invested in structure. Guys, it's easy to say that Motsepe bought everything, but you guys are forgetting those first few years when Motsepe was just throwing money into a black hole. Figabo Nieskins, Figabo Stoichkov. I remember there was a season where Sundowns unveiled 15 players. You have to have the want to go through that. Most of our owners are scared to go through that, where you're throwing away money in order to find the right structure. His only thing that he said was, I need to find the best. It took him a while to figure out how to create that best structure. So are your owners, my owners, everybody, are your guys willing to do the same thing? Are you guys willing? Mamkiza finished 3rd, first season after she bought Bloemfontein Celtic. Where have they gone from there? Amazulu finished 2nd in Bab Zungu's first year with Benny McCarthy. But when it was time to go to the next step, they couldn't do it. They didn't want to. Where are they now? So now we go back and we say, me, jealous of Sundowns, 100%. 100% jealous. Hatred, no. I'm more angry at my own people. Chiefs, for example, has gone, what? 8, we're about to go 9 years with no trophy. 9 full years. And at no point during Sundowns' dominance did we wake up. At no point when they won the Star 2015-16 did we go, yes, there's another team coming. At no point when Patrice won 2 trophies last year did we go, yes, these guys are building. At no point in the 8 years did anybody at Chiefs sit down and go, you know what, we need to figure out how to do this. And I'm singling out Chiefs because I'm a Chiefs fan. But this is for the league. Even the players that people sign. I'm sorry, guys, I just wanna get this off. Even the players that they sign. Why wouldn't me as a player, why wouldn't I want to go to Sundowns? Why wouldn't I? They're probably going to pay me better. I'm probably going to get better opportunities. I'm probably going to get better as a player. I'm probably going to do all these things. And my team, who quote unquote loves me, can't give me more money, can't guarantee me that they're going for something in the league. So why then, as a star, would I stay at my team? Why then would I choose certain other teams? Why then would I not go to Sundowns? What are you giving me that's going to make me as a player better? And not as a favor to not as a favor to the league, not as a favor to any of that stuff. Gaza saying, what about style of play? But that's what I'm saying. They built a structure. Sundowns at least had shoeshine and piano, but obviously they needed to get better at it and improve it, right? But again, you're telling me that none of the teams in the PSL can figure out what their style of play is and sign towards that style of play, whether it be coaches, whether it be players. None of the other teams. And I must blame Sundowns. I must blame Sundowns for Chiefs signing 7, 8 players every season and all of them dying. I must blame Sundowns. No, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So yeah, hate. I don't hate Sundowns. I'm jealous, man. Yo, I wish I could go on Mulifinseki's Twitter page and see him, man. He's retweeted the tactical breakdowns from, I could say, the analysts from around the world. Look at Rulani's thing. I'm not even saying that Rulani, just look at that. Yo, I wish I could say that my head of academy came from this place, or my head of this came from that, or my technical director. Yes, man, we went to wherever and went and fetched him. These are things, by the way, that I used to say all the time as a Chiefs fan. Oh, Reina Dinkelaka came in and he was great. Oh, Uzbanbani came in and they were great. The players came in and they understood what Chiefs was playing. I know the feeling. So that's for me what it is. So I just wanted, on my end, that's how I feel about Sundowns as a non-Sundowns fan. But I want to give more people the chance to come in and speak on it, and we can speak about it, about this thing. Sundowns fans, if you want to defend it, defend it. If you don't want to, don't. People who want to come in and maybe speak about something else regarding Sundowns, or you feel away about the money, let's speak. I'm going to open up the multi-guest. Remember, if you want to add your voice to the show, know that you have to be following me on TikTok. And then right now while I'm live, and then at the bottom of your screen, a multi-guest button will appear. You can click on that multi-guest button, and you'll be able to join. You'll be able to join and add your voice to the show. So let me just open it. You see some of these comments. For some reason, it's taking its time. When I speak about Sundowns for some reason, man. It's slow. Okay, I see there's a few people here. I think for time's sake, I'm going to ask you general thoughts and one of the questions. I've got a couple of questions that I want to ask, and then we can move and bring in more people. Let me just get everybody in. Like I said, guys, I'm streaming to a couple of places, so it might be a little bit, just a tad bit slow. Sinje, how are you doing, my brother?
But how are you?
No, I'm okay, bro. I'm okay. I just had to speak, man.
Hey, but I feel like I'm in a counseling session and I'm sitting here letting you break out and speak.
No, but I want to know your thoughts too. I want to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts about Sundowns in general? That's the first question in relation to things that people speak about. And then, what are your thoughts about Motsepe? Yeah. We'll start with Motsepe.
Okay. One, I like what Sundowns is doing for Sundowns. I would not want Kaizer Chiefs to be a Sundowns, you know?
Okay.
One of the things that I'd say Chiefs, when they win things against the best of the best. They win things against teams that are at their best. They don't cripple teams and then beat them and then celebrate that win. When Chiefs have won 12 league titles is when Sundowns was at its best. Was when Patrice was at its best.
Okay.
Your Hellenics were there. They were at their best with their stars. So I wouldn't want that. Firstly, secondly, what I liked about Kaizer Chiefs is that they didn't win leagues by players they've bought. They normally would have a combination of stars they've breeded themselves.
Okay.
Which I think is that they bring their own stars, they build their own stars, they breed their own stars. They don't just rely on stars they bought. You get what I mean?
Okay.
If you look at Kaizer Chiefs, all the years that they've won titles, if you look at the squad itself, you will find at least 6 or 7 players. These are players that Chiefs have actually groomed and actually from the development accompanied with players that they've bought. Okay. They've never bought. If you look at Kaizer Chiefs, all the signings they've made, it's not a star from a particular place. You sign they'll get an unknown player. I'll make an example. When Tinashe Ngomashe came to Kaizer Chiefs, we don't know him as a star. He didn't come as a star. I'm trying to say, Omar Beti, when they came to Kaizer Chiefs, we didn't know them as stars where they came from. I like Sundowns and it works for Sundowns. And I don't want Kaizer Chiefs to be Sundowns. I'm happy with what Sundowns is doing. It's working for them. I try to see Kaizer Chiefs going back to their own route, to their own lane. And lane. I don't care whether they don't win.
I think before we move on, that's what I meant in that Sundowns is doing the best for Sundowns. And I just wish my team could do the best for Chiefs. You get what I mean? Like, that's the way they win. That's the way they win.
Look, as much as we lost the season last year, I'm happy that one of our developments or two of our development players came to the development, to the national, to the first team, and then they are abroad and they're doing well abroad. I'm happy with that. I celebrate that. I like that. I want to see more of that. I want to see Chabalala play 2 seasons. To hear that Reeve has drawn interest overseas. I'm happy to hear that Patrice has drawn interest overseas. I'm happy to hear that, and I like that about Kaizer Chiefs. As much as look, yes, they can win. I don't think. Yes, that's what I'm trying. Yes, we're not winning, but we've brought that back again. When was the last time did you hear a Kaizer Chiefs player leaving and doing well in this 8 years that we were doing that while the Sigibele ngabo Mandla Masango nabo Knowledge Musona go abroad and do well. We need another Zuma. You know, I was watching documentary Zuma, Patrice, and I was happy to hear. I was smiling. One of our own players is celebrated overseas in Germany. They've got sweets under his name. They've got a portion of the. I want to hear that about our players. I don't care. Sometimes can dominate as much as they can. I don't mind. But I would like to have a Sundowns player overseas and demonstrating and becoming a huge representative of our country. What is the point of just dominating this local league with all these players? And then at the end of the day, we forget about it. Look at Ukekan. After all the years done for Sundowns, he's a forgotten hero. Yeah. I don't care about this with me, personally. I'm talking.
Okay.
I'm happy to see the MLS. As much as he's a water boy there, I don't mind. I hope one day he's going to and stop being the water boy. But it's fine. Let's produce players. Let's produce another Benny. Let's produce another Quinton Fortune. Let's produce another Stephen Pinar. When are we producing this type of players? As much as we can dominate.
But for time's sake, Sinja, tell me what you think about Motsepe as an owner.
Look, kudos to him. But I would not compare Motsepe to Roux. Invested in Stellenbosch as he is on the Blue Bulls. Henry is putting as much money as he is. So Patrice's money is playing a huge role. I like that. Me personally, I like it. And you can see the rewards. I'm not jealous of it. I like it. I love it. I wish if we could get more millionaires to invest into our teams and turn another cheaper to a Sundowns or another. I was happy with Mamkiza. I like how she did. I'm sorry that he was bad, which has destabilized the team a bit. But I'm happy all these millionaires come in, put money into our football. The more competitive it becomes. I'm not. I'm really not. I like what he's doing. I love what he's doing. I remember there was a cup that they won, and then he said the players must share the money among themselves. I'm happy to do. I love those things. I mean, kudos to him. He's one of the great best owners in life.
I'm gonna bring in new agent 007. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Sundowns Defense Force. Let's hear. Firstly, what are your general thoughts about your own team? And then secondly, how do you feel about Motsepe as an owner?
Yeah, the Sundowns army has arrived, I see Roger is also here, which could have been on the next panel so that we deal with the guys decisively on all panels. But, you know, I always tell people that hypocrisy is the last stage before witchcraft. You see, if you want to see that you are becoming a witch, you become a hypocrite. You see, once you become a hypocrite, know that you are one stage away from being a witch, And I think majority of Chiefs fans, they must be from from Limpopo or somewhere, Venda there, because I think it's, honestly speaking, banter aside and jokes aside, it hurts me as a Sundowns fan that what is good for Sundowns is bad for the league, but what is good for Chiefs is good for the league. I'm going to be lenient on Pirates for particular reason, but they're in the same cabal, People are forgetting that when Chiefs was getting benefits, let me just deal with this one. When Chiefs was getting benefits, everything was fine, But now because Sundowns was benefiting, it's becoming a huge issue. It's okay, it's fine. Hypocrisy number one. Two, money. Of the two sort of teams, no other team combined, let's include Sundowns, I'm sure all other 14 teams combined don't get as enough revenue as Pirates and Chiefs, individually. Take Chiefs aside, add all the other 14 teams, combine that revenue, and compare to 13 except Sundowns, compared to Chiefs, So when Chiefs was getting all the sponsors, Vodacom, bringing your Manchester United, your whatevers, your Tottenham Spurs, it was okay, it was fine, But now because we have a owner who's willing to splash the cash that the Chiefs and Pirates has, it's a problem. Hypocrisy number two, Now Chiefs and Pirates I hear a billion deal with Vodacom, but everyone is quiet about it, So it's not like about the money. Everyone is quiet because it's Chiefs money. But when it's Sundowns money, it's a problem. It's okay, it's fine. And it wasn't a problem between 2007 and 15 before Pizzo came, when we were given the tag "money can buy success." So now money can buy success. That's hypocrisy number three.
But also, before you move on from that point, also, the PSL doesn't have any financial rules. If the other 15 teams or other 13 teams or 12 teams or whatever were feeling away, by now, surely they would have fought to get some sort of rules in. So is it us fans who care about this money thing? Only do the other teams care? But anyway, I just wanted to you can continue.
There are two people who matter. I can now say three people who matter in the PSL. It's Ntate Khoza, Ntate Motaung, and now Patrice Motsepe. Before Patrice Motsepe, whatever Motaung saying, whatever Khoza says is the law. So it doesn't matter. Combine the supporters of all the other teams. I don't think they're anywhere near Chiefs fans. So the pressure can be that much. The influence of all the other 14 owners is not as much as Khoza's and Motaung's influence. So even if maybe they tried, they wouldn't go anywhere. And it's a funny thing because now because Sundowns is succeeding, it's we need fair play, We need financial fair play. But you didn't need it all along, And here's hypocrisy number 5. When Chiefs was winning all along, you guys talk of Operation Tata Zoinke, Operation Vote Alice.
Yeah, Vote Alice.
When you guys were winning, we're dominating. You guys were not killing the league, The league was nice. That's hypocrisy number 5, that you guys want only Chiefs and maybe Pirates to succeed. When other teams succeed, it's a problem. It's not nice. I can tell you now, every day we see a footage of Pirates and Chiefs, Sangomas performing rituals on the fields. Try that with Sundowns. Just ordinary water with Sundowns. You will hear all manners of stories.
Ordinary?
Yes, I'm just saying, if they can drink just water. What I'm saying is, Pirates and Chiefs are practicing daylight witchcraft. And no one is saying anything. No one is saying it's bringing the league into disrepute. It's not less for the sponsors, whatnot. Everyone is quiet because Chiefs and Pirates are doing it. But I'm saying, let Sundowns do it. Let Sundowns do it. There's a reason why we are being accused of having snakes, but the daylight witches, are there. We see them practicing.
16 points behind you, daylight witches.
No, that's not the point. The point is, we see you guys practicing witchcraft daylight, and everyone knows. We see these operations, talking with Stan, talking with what. We know what you guys do at night, but no one is quiet about it. Is quiet about it. But if it's a Sundowns, you guys even have to trade rumors that there's a snake, You guys even have to trade rumors that we sacrifice Boanele and Obomadisha, But there's no proof. With Chiefs and Pirates, there is proof, from ex-players. And even now we see them. Even this past weekend, a Chiefs official was almost beaten by Santos official, trying to throw Muti. If anyone is challenging me, I can bring in the link right here, But because it's Chiefs and Pirates, it's fine. It's okay. Hypocrisy number 6, witchcraft. So I think Pirates and Chiefs, they want to be gatekeepers. They want to be the only two teams succeeding. So Sundowns has shaken that. Now they're feeling the heat, which is wrong. And I want to remind Abuti Kuso that the reason why your guys' favorite, Abuti, I think, Ace, we know he failed a polygraph test in 2009. That's why he resigned. He didn't resign honorably like Victor Gomes. We know them. It's public knowledge. That's why I'm naming him, because it's public knowledge. If you're not sure, check any other source. Just do a simple Google search. He was accused of taking a bribe by a former referee on from Pirates, and he was put under the test, and he failed the test.
Okay. And but quickly, for time's sake, very quickly, can you tell me what you think about Motsepe?
Yes, the last point, is. Let me not go to the last point, but I want to say I'm mentioning these few instances because of time. Just a few instances to remind Chiefs and Paris fans that we see you guys. We see you. It's not that we don't see you guys. We see you guys. We know you guys, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll continue to be successful. About Motsepe, I think generally, I think he has rescued a lot of kids, because I think they were being exploited in the name of playing for the badge. They were being exploited in the name of playing for Soweto Giant. But football is a very short career. What were the other kids going to do after they retire? So I think Mr. Motsepe helped to raise the standard, helped to increase the standard. I don't think Chiefs will pay him only 350 if it wasn't for Motsepe. Okay. So I think he helped make the league more professional in terms of pay. And taking the money actually out of the Montauis and the Khoza's pocket, And I think also, I can't say he has been a holier than thou person. I think he has captured the league, because I think it's very wrong. And I said this even for Motsepe. I was still vocal about this, that it is very wrong that Motsepe is sponsoring Motsepe Foundation, ABC Foundation, ABC whatever, Motsepe League,
everyone,
Banyana, everything. So now everyone is on Motsepe's pocket. Let's say Sundowns does something. Juventus, Juventus had something where they're taking 16 points, 18 points. Who'll take points from Sundowns now? Who tell those points from Sundowns? So that is the conflict of interest, and that is hypocrisy number 7. That it was okay for Ukhoza and Mtaung to run the PSL and own clubs, but now it's wrong that. And they were capturing it, because all the sponsors were being wooded to the Soto teams. So now we have a new player in the team, and it's a 3 people thing which are capturing the PSL. And now people are saying it's wrong. But we see you guys, it's fine. We see you guys.
Hi, agent. No. Sundowns Defense Force came in strong. Ko, how are you doing, my brother? Welcome to the show.
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm
Thank
okay,
you.
my brother.
Thank you so
I'm okay.
much.
Tell me, firstly, general thoughts about Sundowns, wherever you want to take it. People have taken it to Muti even. And then secondly, how do you feel about Motsepe as an owner?
Yeah, you know what? First of all, I think your agent is from Limpopo as well. Listening to him and his accent, I can tell he's from Limpopo. He's a fan of Sundowns from Limpopo.
Hey, you guys.
But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. And I want to be honest with you. Ne? You know, you laid the foundation. You laid a good foundation when you said from you, it's not hate. It's jealousy. I am exactly at that same position with you as a Kaizer Chiefs fan. I'm not going to lie to you. I am exactly in that position. I envy those guys. I envy Mamelodi Sundowns. Let me tell you what happened with Soweto Giants. Let me tell you, I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
Evolution of football, for me, they stayed behind in lack of a better word. Pirates and Sundowns were known to sign big players. And you know why? Because they were the giants of football in South Africa. Not because they were paying better. Let's be honest. Not because they were paying better. Because they were the giants. Everybody wanted to play for like Orlando Pirates or Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
And now, exactly. And then now, Motsepe comes. And you know what Motsepe did? It's what Sheikh did with Man City. Before Sheikh went into Man City as the owner, what was Man City known for in EPL? Before Ibrahimovic or Abramovich went to Chelsea, what was Chelsea known for? You get what I'm trying to say? So the evolution of football, we sort of stayed behind as Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, and I can understand that because for them, to me, where I'm sitting as a Kaizer Chiefs fan, it's more like that's their source of income. What other profit-making organizations or businesses are they making? Like, if we were to be honest and ask each other, what is Kaizer doing out of Kaizer Chiefs? What is Ivan Goza doing out of Orlando Pirates and the PSL? Let's be honest. Is there any $1 million business or $1 billion business, million rand business or billion rand business that they are running? They are not. So what happened is it's that football changed and it caught them off guard. That is why the other time when we were having this conversation, I said to you, I wish a billionaire somewhere would come and buy Kaizer Chiefs and give them an offer that they can't resist. Let them go and retire and enjoy that money.
But can we really say that it took them off guard? Because it goes back to the question I asked. Motsepe has owned Sundowns since 2004. You know, it's 19 years.
Yes, but
They've watched him build and make mistakes and structure and change and do this up until to the point where Sundowns is now. How come they didn't react, respond, change, adapt? That's why I'm asking, because you know a lot of the time when we speak about Motsepe, we speak about it as if it was Abramovich that bought Chelsea and then year one or year two they were successful. Whereas it's 19 years. You know, they've been dominant for the last 7 in the league. Let's say 7 winning the league in a row, 7. But that's also, there's still 12 years before that Motsepe owned this team. And they watched him. All of the owners watched him. You can't complain now.
You know what the mistake that I made, I would believe that they assumed that he is going to fail. Remember, he doesn't even have football background. And they thought they know football. They've been with football. They've been in football since those ages, those olden days. They were in football. Kaizer Mutau played and so forth and started owning a team. And so they thought Motsepe is going to fail. And the point that I'm trying to make is this. Motsepe realized that this is a very good marketing tool for either his businesses and to try and evade, not to evade, but to try and use something to pay tax and so forth. But now it's working for him. You know why? Because he understands that football these days is all about money. That is why you see Saudi Arabia all of a sudden it's like one of the biggest leagues in the world. Nobody used to pay attention to Saudi Arabia, but now because they are signing all these players, everybody's now looking at Saudi Arabia. You get what I'm trying to say? Now the reason I give my hat off to Motsepe is that now you go to Morocco and then you see Sundowns fans there. You go to Egypt and then you see Sundowns fans there. So he's a good ambassador for South African football. As much as we don't want to agree, or maybe I don't know which way to use, but we need to give props to him because he's marketing South African football to the whole of Africa. Sometimes plays with Barcelona. Sometimes go and have friendly matches with the biggest biggest teams in the world. So I get what we're trying to say, because obviously it's Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. They once one of the biggest teams in the world, but right now they failed to adjust to certain things that are happening in football currently. And Sundowns, that is why Sundowns is winning all these leagues. I can assure you now, Sundowns is going to win this league again.
Okay.
Sundowns is going to win this league again.
Hey, we just have to accept we are making a noise. I don't think the teams are. Malume Kuto, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm well. How are you, Mr. OT?
No, I'm good. We must speak about these things, Malume Kuto. Tell me, what are general thoughts about this Mamelodi Sundowns, and then also how do you feel about Motsepe?
Mamele apa hypocrites are accusing us of hypocrisy. It's very surprising, but it's fine. I'm not gonna be derailed. Nikita a very positive attitude towards Sundowns.
Yeah.
And I was attacked for Mahala, but it's fine. Sundowns. Sundowns is a slay queen, man. No, on a serious note, slay queens have this gift from God or from wherever, that they will attract rich men after rich men. Kanyimba will fall after Mandla, attract another rich one. Bolondi London, they will fall. Next thing, there's a new man buying PM, mini Zamini. One understand? So, Sundowns, Nalbo Zolama Hobe, Natasha Chiklas, Body Standard Bank, and now it's Patrice Motsepe. It's luck after luck of good owners. You understand? So when I see them, I'm like, oh, these ones, they are blessed with the same spirit that a slave queen has been blessed with. And a slave queen will die. Lastly, I've seen my see where this timer, like a Mercedes Benz, or Johnny Walker Black, coming to visit this old lady. And I'm like, hey, this old lady is still cooking even now. We understand. So that's Sundowns for you. But what's happening with Sundowns, we can trace it back to, there's this thing that was on Netflix, Barki, the English Game.
Okay.
And they guarded against issue, and they knew something like this would happen. It's a movie centered around what happened in Kanaking, what happened in England and Scotland, where they had forbidden teams from paying players.
Okay.
It would somehow dilute the sport. You understand? There's a reason why people buy different from the success of Pirates. There's a reason why some people see it differently from the success of Chiefs. And Usinje mentioned it, and he hits it on the on the head. One understand when he said, "Mark, you're gonna have your chance, man. Come down." Anyway, when he said, Chiefs won it against a competitive Pirates. Chiefs won it against a competitive Sundowns. Pirates, when we won the treble, what people don't understand, when Pirates won the treble, we were beaten 3-0 back-to-back by Chiefs. Our first treble. It wasn't against a weak Chiefs. It wasn't against a weak Sundowns. And we were not buying players directly from Chiefs, or buying players that Chiefs wanted so that Chiefs couldn't compete, or buying players that Sundowns wanted. No, we were playing it fairly. we're building our team. You understand? For me, Sundowns, yes, people say they sign players, and I don't understand why people keep saying Sundowns signs players that fit their philosophy. If you sign everyone, surely someone is gonna fit good philosophy out. If you are signing everyone, Sundowns literally signs everyone. They'll make bong kubo mang. Those who fail, they fall through the cracks, and those who succeed, they become this picture we sign according to our philosophy. If they sign according to their philosophy, where's Umtupa? Where's Ukutumela? You understand? It's because they sign a lot of players. But in the same breath, I would defend the Sundowns and say their mission is not only limited to the PSL. It goes beyond the PSL. And once we open the CAF Champions League book, we start seeing where actually they are not really as dominant financially. We start seeing where apparently Al Ahly signed players for 90 million. And then you look at it and you're like, we are worried or Sundowns just signed their first and only player for 50 million, which is apparent or Alend. Yet when you look at the financial strength of Al Ahly, it is able to pull Upesitao and buy Upesitao from Brighton. Rona, when we get these guys from overseas, they usually come to SA on a free transfer. But Al Ahly is able to buy them. I understand. Which is why I wouldn't even go towards financial fair play. Because Sundowns is trying to that next step that you always talk about. They are done with the PSL. They're trying to get to that next step and not only win the CAF Champions League, but become a permanent fixture with CAF Champions League, and therefore maybe go into the world stage. I mean, Al Ahly is already go world stage. You understand? Well, you can go anywhere in the world, not just Africa. You can go anywhere. You can visit England. They know who Al Ahly is, the club of the century. And I feel like we can't then suddenly limit Sundowns when they're trying to go for bigger things. I understand. And when it comes to Pirates has faced this before. I will always say Pirates has faced this. Sundowns is the second Sundowns. Chiefs is the first Sundowns. Chiefs is the first Sundowns in the sense of which they came in and made football fashionable. They came in and made things happen. The Glamour Boys, it's in the name, the Glamour Boys. While Paris was just struggling there. That's why Paris, in a league, you hear funny stories. Sabo Kanaking, where they rob players, they make players sign the 13-year contract, apparently. It's because we have to survive somehow with all of this madness. And again, I just want to say the difference in the money, Pirates, and the money at Chiefs and the money at Sundowns. It goes into the structures of financial fair play. If you look at what financial fair play says, it's basically trying to say be a Pirates and a Chiefs, not a Sundowns. It's saying spend money you've made through revenue. At least make it fair. Money you've got from sponsorships, not money that you got from as a cheese boy. You keep spending and spending and spending and spending. If we be honest, if we look at the principle behind financial fair play, it is exactly that. Be a Pirates, don't be a Sundowns. So there is a level of unfairness about it when you say, how can you just buy the league? Let's be honest. To a certain degree, they are buying the league.
But why are none of the other teams doing anything? Because you mentioned the double treble. That was when you guys won double treble was 2011. It was 2011, ne? 2011, 2012.
Yeah, sometime back.
Motsepe had owned Sundowns for 7 years at that point. So, they watched him do this. Let me put it like that. They watched him do this. Now he's overtaken and our teams are crying about money and all of that, but they're not putting any changes. If every team felt that way, surely at some point they'd say, "Hi guys, financial fair play has to happen." Now, financial fair play comes about from people complaining, Anish, or they not sell their players there. I don't know. I just feel as though we are excusing our teams.
Like, I will always say, and I want to be clear on this. I do not support any form of financial fair play to constrain Sundowns at this point. Their mission is far bigger than the PSL. I need to get that across. But me not supporting a financial fair play does not mean I'm blind to certain things that they are doing. Understand? I can see, it's okay, this is unfair. This is really killing the league. If it was for the good of the league, sign players you need. Don't kill
But
other
the league
teams
is letting
and
them
put-
take those players. The league is letting them. Nobody puts
I
a
understand.
gun to your head. I agree they speak every day about Chiefs fans always speak every day about no, Tina, they make it more expensive. No, they block us. They don't want us to sign these players. No, they don't want us to do these things. But it's like, if you can do that to Chiefs, how come you're not angry at Sundowns who've done killed the league, quote unquote, for more than a decade?
No, I understand the status quo. Maybe the status quo doesn't satisfy us. Well, I understand that they could be doing better. But at the same time, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking there is a reward and punishment that lies ahead. There is a reward of depriving players from Chiefs. Guys, we can see this. Let's be honest. There is a tacit agreement between teams and Sundowns that if Chiefs says they want a player, just run it by us. Just run it by us, and then we'll tell you with us in Nand. He won't derail us. It's there. We can see it to a point where Bobo Eddie Manglele were unhappy when they went to Sundowns. To a point where, because Venda is the topic today, to a point where that boy Wako Venda or that Grootman Wako Venda was unveiled as a mannequin because his father was like, no way, my boy is not joining Sundowns.
Okay.
Honestly, when the team was trying to take him to Sundowns. Matoho, yes. To a point where research book up being a Libana by Toll and Bobo Erasmus, they banging doors. You see now, the painful part is that unlike Sundowns, Chiefs and Pirates cannot just hold on to players out of spite.
Okay.
They need that space for a salary to pay people. And in closing, I just want to say, how are we hypocrites? How can you say we're not saying anything about Umuti, whereas you're actually beating up Muti people for practicing Dilo? They're actually beating them up. Why are you saying we're not saying anything? Agent, you're a hypocrite.
No, but Lumekusa, thank you for joining me. Before you start a fight, let me bring you to Chero. Chero, welcome to the show, my brother. How you doing?
Thembazwane iyo Thembazwane awujika kamnandi umshishi. How are you, my brother?
Hey. You know, I'm defending you guys, then you come and sing. Hi, man. Tell me, what are your general thoughts about your team? Number one, and its relationship with the league. And then I'm going to change the questioning and say, why aren't the other teams fighting?
Okay, I'm gonna start with your last question. You see,
Okay.
for me, I've observed this in South Africa in general. You see, the PSL is not an island. The PSL is part of South Africa in general.
Okay.
Tina, we are still young. We are still from '94 to now. It's about 30 years. So as a country, we are still finding our feet. As people of the country, we're still trying to figure out where we belong in this world. Are we left? Are we right? Are we going forward? Are we, we don't know. We don't know ourselves as yet. When I make an example, ESCOM. You see, our government was born, I think in 2007 or 2004. About we're gonna have load shedding in 10 years' time. They didn't do nothing. So now we're having load shedding. And it was not a surprise. We could see the people who were engineers, they knew we were going to have load shedding. Same with our football. We won the AFCON 96, but they warned us, guys, you need to do your development structures and this and this and that and that. And we saw from 96 I think 98 we lost the final in the AFCON. After that we became third. So there was a pattern. We were going down slowly.
Yeah.
Eventually we didn't qualify. You
Yeah.
understand?
Mm.
So even now with corruption, you're saying, hey, our politicians are corrupt. But in our workplace we are also corrupt. It's just that the corruption here too is in our level. See, my corruption is stealing toilet paper and tea bags. You understand? Because that's the corruption in my level.
Yeah.
Or stealing food. You understand? I mean, I'm an electrician by trade. So still a screwdriver there, still a wire, because that's the corruption in my level.
Okay.
But in government, that's the corruption. The money that they get is millions. That's in their level. Same with our football. There's corruption in our football. There's lack of direction in our football. Tina, on Monday we go and work with Papalas. Yes, the very same players who play in the PSL, they come from our townships. I mean, I'm from Motsepe Hypocrisy. Mbulelo Mabizela is my homeboy. You understand? So when you're talking about Mabizela, he used to play for Tottenham, he lost this and that, but he was doing the same thing I'm doing. On Monday I go to work with the Papalas. So it is a South African thing.
Yeah.
We are not yet sure which we are going in this direction or that direction. PSL is not an island. It belongs to.
But then we're not dealing with new teams. Pirates is what? 1935, Chiefs 1970, Sundowns itself 1970. These are old teams, and in the case of Pirates, in the case of Chiefs, they have been successful to arguably the level, okay, not now Sundowns, but arguably to very high levels. So these are not people that at least there should be at least four, 5 teams that know what direction they're moving to right now in relation to Sundowns.
But you have to realize something. Back then, it wasn't a professional league. It was an amateur league. So when it was 94, you had to professionalize everything.
Yeah.
Back then,
and Chiefs was winning 2002, 3, Paris 2011, 12. Chiefs were taking trophies all through that time up until our drought.
Yes.
Pirates won 2 trophies last year. Surely we can't let them off the hook.
The thing is, what you don't realize, Guti, back then there were still not a lot of so-called professional teams in the PSL. So Chiefs and Pirates were successful and Sundowns back then. So in the early 2000s and in the mid 1990s, they were still riding that wave from the 80s. So when it's time for our Super Sport to come in, our Cape Town City to come in, those now you find more professional teams who can compete with these teams. So now what I'm trying to say is,
why aren't they competing? That's the question.
No, it's a South African thing. It's a South African. If you look at South Africa right now, the Springboks are doing very well. They figured out, okay, in this new South Africa, this is how you're supposed to move. We've got your Sia Colises, your Mampipis. If you look at the Proteas, the cricket team, they haven't figured it out yet. They don't know whether they must stick on the old style or stick with white people. Or, you see? And then in football, you have Sundowns. The Sundowns Motsepe has figured it out. Okay, this is how a professional team is run. This is how you're supposed to do things in football. You understand? But yet now there are a lot of common threats in South Africa where we are not really sure what's happening or what are we doing. Are we playing a European style? Are we playing a South American style? What is our style? Are we professional or not? You understand? So, I forgive a lot of teams, including Kaizer Chiefs. Because I forgive them, seriously. Because as a country, even us as a people, we are not sure, Guti, are we EFF or are we NC? We don't like DA, but we are not sure, Guti, which direction are we taking as a people. You see, I think that's my point. That's my observation. In general, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For time's sake, I'm gonna bring in Mark. Mark, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah.
No, okay, right, Mark. Mark, tell me, what are your general thoughts about Sundowns, and then why are the other teams not fighting?
Hey, my brother. Do you regularly watch Sundowns games live, like on the stadium?
In the stadium, no.
I've watched a couple of games. You know the other teams, when they are playing Sundowns, the fear in their faces, you won't believe.
Yeah.
You won't. There was this game I was watching in Kaizer Chiefs versus Sundowns.
Okay.
The fear on the defenders, it was horrible. Everyone is focusing on Chiefs and Pirates. What about the other teams? What are they doing? You were saying something that Chiefs has been they didn't have a trophy for the past 9 years. What trophies do other teams have?
No,
Everything
I did
is
mention
focused
that I want to make it a bigger convo, because I think we have this idea when we speak about the Sundowns. We have this idea that all the teams are angry and all the teams are this. But when you look at it, and you just objectively look at the league, it doesn't seem like the other teams are angry. It doesn't seem like they're frustrated.
Yes.
They don't feel anything. From Bobby to Chipampengesi, it just feels like they're fine.
But I feel like all the other teams are focusing on Chiefs to take the league from Sundowns. No one is serious. It's only it has to be only Pirates or Chiefs to take the league. What about them? What are they doing? Who are they buying? Who are they
selling to?
If you check the other teams, all those teams, they have average players. They never buy quality players. And if they get a good player, they will always sell it to Sundowns. Always. Sundowns plays very good football. I won't lie. I'm a Chiefs fan. They play beautiful football. I've watched them. They play beautiful football. The problem we have here, everyone is focusing on Chiefs. What can Chiefs do? So I think teams should pull up their socks, because you can't rely on Chiefs only, man. You can't, because every day we'll talk about Chiefs. What about Golden Arrows? What about the Golden Arrows? That's my point. Santos plays very good football. The problem we have is, okay, let's look at the last game, Chiefs and Sundowns.
Yeah.
In my opinion, for Sundowns to beat Chiefs is very hard. Sundowns won through, brown envelope. They won. It's fine. We accept to move on. But I think Chiefs is a really strong team. We just have problems there and there. But we just need other teams to pull up their socks. Sundowns can beat Chiefs, but maybe the next game is against Golden Arrows or Swallows. Why can't Swallows and Golden Arrows fight to beat Sundowns? Why must the focus be on Chiefs?
Besides that, I think the argument I always make is you can lose 2 matches to Sundowns. It's great. They'll get their 6 points, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like in the league, everybody tries to make it seem as though Pirates, Chiefs, SuperSport, certain teams are at the same level as the Cape Town Spurs, Richards Bay, those type of teams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fine, don't beat Sundowns. Let Sundowns be number 1 and let Sundowns go and whatever. Ne? How come you are struggling to be consistent in the league where Even if we look at resources from teams number 2 to number 16, it's completely different. Why is Sundowns then carrying on to win by 16 points to number 2? You know?
That's the issue. I think it's quality, man. It's quality. Most teams in the PSL don't have quality. The game yesterday, it was Amazulu and Polokwane City. My brother, that is the most boring game I have ever seen.
Yeah.
The other teams, they don't have quality. They don't have quality. And you can't rely on Chiefs to stop Sundowns. You can't just rely only on Chiefs. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Okay. Danko, thank you for the follows, guys. We've hit our goal for today. Please, if you have not followed, please follow. Whether you're watching on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. Whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on TikTok, please join me and follow. Ringangetiski, how are you doing, my brother? Ringangetiski, are you with me? There we go.
I'm with you, man. How are you?
No, I'm good. Thanks, and yourself, my brother.
I'm all right, man. Hey, yesterday I was trying to get on the convo. Load shedding happened to me as well. But anyway, man. Yeah.
I've got 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
What are your general thoughts about Sundowns in relation to the league? And then secondary, why aren't other teams fighting?
Okay, so my thoughts is, guys, right? The first thing that you need to know about Sundowns that where they are is not a fluke. It's not by fluke, right? Sundowns has been a successful team for a long time, way before Motsepe came through. They've been a competitive team, a club. Let's put it as a club because I'm a player. They've won leagues, they've won trophies, and all those things, right? And so we cannot take that away. Surely Imaliga Motsepe did come in and it sort of boosted Sundowns to what they are now, the monster that they are now, right? Now the problem is that, and I think most of the guys agree, is that when Sundowns was making all these strides moving forward, Abu Ivy and Abu Mtaung were chilled. Right, they were way relaxed. They were way in their sort of old ways to say, right. And I'll make a typical example for you, Outside. You remember Nokia?
Nokia, yes.
Right? You remember Nokia, right? The same scenario. If you remember Nokia, it's the same scenario, right? Nokia was one of, yes, Kodak, Xerox, BlackBerry, all of those guys, right? When the smaller Samsungs and the guys were making moves, they were like, no, we know this industry. This is our industry. We've killed it. We've made, names for ourselves, right? Yeah. What they didn't realize that what Motsepe already had was a working product, right? He didn't, even though they struggled maybe for like 4 or 5 years to really get that team going, but the mentality of the club, Maunge and Abu Sundowns, the trophy cabinet is there. It's not like we're gonna start from scratch. Like now we're making examples, Ngabo Arosi, Ngabo Cape Town Spurs and all those things. Those guys, some of those teams, as much as they've been around for a long time, every player that comes in there feels like they have to start from scratch. You get what I mean? But when you go into a Sundowns environment, you get there, you see there's things that have been won. You feel like, hey, I'm a winner here, and you're going to continue with that legacy, right? But where I don't like Sundowns is what they've done to our players, right? There's one of my favorite players who shakes Ngwen, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant player, Edwards, and this is before Motsepe came, by the way, right? Brilliant player. They took him and they killed his career. Right, we cannot get away from that. And again, they've been using the same formula, right? To say if we cannot right? If we take a player and we take sort of ammunition from a competition hit, right? If we take whoever is the best player now, we're taking ammunition from the Pirates, we're taking ammunition from the Kaizer Chiefs and whoever is competing on us, and we're making sure that we have all the bullets in our stable, and they cannot really compete with us in that sense, right? And we leave them with whatever thingy, right? And again, if you look at it, if Sundowns buys a player, then you look at who is the next available player in that standard that the Sundowns team has bought, and then you struggle to find that kind of player, right? So that's one thing I really don't like about the Sundowns. But again, to go back to what you're saying, why are the other teams not fighting? Why are the big teams and all of those things? What you call this? I think they are way late of the tea. Right? If they fight now, you are now fighting a giant, my guy. You are now fighting someone who is versed in Africa, who's versed. Like Sundowns has things that Abu Kaizer would have built back then. They have things that Abu Kaizer would have built back then. They've built it overtaken Pirates, overtaken Chiefs, and they've established themselves as a regular in Africa. Right? Right now. Pirates fans are celebrating with the Pirates is back in Africa, right? After how many years they've not, or after how many seasons they've not been able to go there. It shouldn't be like that. Right now, when Kaizer Chiefs went and played the final, you could see that the Kaizer Chiefs doesn't belong there. Right? Remember the final that we played. You could see which Chiefs didn't belong there. Right? It's Sundowns, if you guys remember, they used to struggle against Al Ahly. I think Al Ahly was beat Sundowns heavily than most of the teams in Golokoza, right? Back in those days. But because of the foundation that they've built, because of the structures that they have, they've managed to be now in competition with one of the biggest teams in Africa. That is not a fluke, guys. That does not take 2 years to do. That does not take 6 months to do. It takes years to build. It takes a group of people, which is another thing that we're not talking about, to say, if we say Nguti Pirates needs to compete, who's the technical director at Pirates? Who's the head of scouting at Pirates? Who's who in that? Who's in those structures that we know that those structures are there? Who's director of football? All of those things. That those structures are there because clubs like Abu Sundowns looked at what Al Ahly is doing, look at what Wydad is doing. You look at what those Moroccan teams, now that some of them are not even big anymore, but they were big back in the days, right? Those teams took, because I don't know whether they are closer to Europe, but they took those structures and they brought to themselves, and those structures worked for them. And the Sundowns was one of the, not the first, but one of the ones that realized, good, you know what, if we can do some of those things that the African teams are doing, some of those things that they are doing, they take those structures and bring them in here, right? Because now we want the Chiefs to go compete in the Sundowns, right? Or we want the Chiefs to go compete with Sundowns. With what, guys? Right? I am telling you now, my guy, Chiefs is 4 years behind the Pirates, it's Sundowns. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's even more. They are way behind. Because if you look at it, I was thinking about it to say, if you look at a European, for example, you'll say, people think Arsenal is the closest to Man City. Really not. It's maybe Liverpool is closest to Man City. Right? Arsenal just had a good couple of seasons, and whatever that Arteta is building is working, but he's a bit behind of what Pep and the money SMN City have been able to do, right? And then you look again, sorry to make this extra, but you look at Man United. Where Man United is now is pretty much closer to what the Chiefs is doing, where you had the success, but once someone else came in or once someone left your team, your success just vanished, right? I don't know who.
Can I just ask you something?
Yes.
Why is it then that our teams, because I personally, I feel the problem with Chiefs, for example, and I'm saying this because I'm a Chiefs fan, apologies to those who are listening, but the problem with Chiefs is that Chiefs is trying to do what Sundowns did. So Sundowns found a solution that works for them. Chiefs never kept, I've never, outside of Steve Compella, a coach never had the Chiefs job for more than 2 years. You were brought in, you were a mercenary, you left. They brought in people from development, they built a spine, brought in people from development and rejuvenated the team from within, signing some people here and there, right? Isn't the issue with the PSL as a whole that everybody's trying to copy Sundowns' success? And if you're trying to beat Sundowns at Sundowns' game, you're going to lose. Shouldn't they be looking at different ways to beat Sundowns, for example?
And you're quite right? And you are trying to, as I said, you are trying to copy Sundowns' success as you see it now. When you don't know what they did or what it took to get to where they are right now. So you can't copy the end product without knowing the things that they put in there, right? That's the thing. That's why, for example, Royal AM, when they tried the two head coaches things, it failed. Because they just wanted to do a copy and paste without knowing the work that was put in behind to get to that point. But you're quite right to say, Uguti, what are our teams doing, right? Because again, let's go to Europe, right? When Juventus started to fail from dominating the league, the Milans were ready, the Napolis were ready. You know what I mean? They were ready to say, we are building to compete with those guys. When Juventus sort of yaba unstable with Juventus, they went in there, they started doing the winning the league. How long did how back did Juventus win the league? You get what I mean? After dominating for like 6-7 years. So people are not building, people are trying to copy Sundowns as it looks now, right? You won't win. You can't come into a race and think uzong pizza while I've been training for 5-10 years, and you are just coming now and thinking you'll do that, right? So what they need to do, number one, is that I think a lot of these teams need to go back to what exactly they are here to do. Right? What exactly is their objectives, their core sort of foundation, right? You're right. The Chiefs has their own way of doing things. The Pirates has their own way of doing things. Like now, I look at some players. I remember back in the day, I used to say, I'm a player, the Pirates were scary just by looking at them. You know what I mean? Just by looking at them, when those guys were wearing the Pirates jersey, you knew Gucci players, Aborol Mahamud, who intimidate you just by looks. Now you have pretty boys wanting to play for a Pirates. That's not what Pirates is all about. No, it's true. That's not Pirates what they've always been about. You know what I mean? So those kind of identities, we're losing them. Right? Okay. Those kind of things that made the teams that we see now or back then to where they used to be. The pretty boys played for the Chiefs and the other boys played for the Pirates, but the money was at Sundowns always. You know what I mean? But let me not take time from the other guys, man. Thanks. Thanks for your platform.
Thank you so much for joining me, my brother. Thank you so much for joining me. So, Ngezile, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, hey, when the person starts guy.
You know, I'm about to complain. You know, I'm about to cry.
Okay.
First of all, I would say I am a Kaizer Chiefs fan. That first year just it showed that I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan. So the question was, what do I think about Sundowns, the current Sundowns? If we look at Sundowns where it is now, I would say 2016, 2014, 15, 16. Everyone must remember that Pizzo was crying. Each and every other end of the game, Pizzo was crying. Hey, ref this. Hey, players this. Hey, the suffer this. Pizzo was crying. Pizzo was beating left and right. But Pizzo had a plan in motion.
Okay.
Pizzo was losing games that he shouldn't have lost back then, but he was onto something. Now that Pizzo's plan is a train, is like it's a running train. Nothing can stop it. People are complaining. We can't complain about a seed that was planted a few years back. Now that people are they are actually harvesting the trees, they are harvesting the fruits of what Pizzo planted back then, and now we are complaining. We can't complain. And you also said something about the Sundowns. Sundowns has a solution to whatever team that comes with aggressiveness, that wants to take the ball into Sundowns, to play, to stand up against Sundowns. Sundowns has a solution, and you said that already. I remember in one of your lives you said Sundowns has a plan that if they come with a game plan and they play better than us, simple, we're gonna get the last game. Everyone, even the goalkeeper got a yellow card. They are fighting for a Sundowns. Even the goalkeeper, Williams, got a yellow card. That's their plan. If you stand up against us, we we will commit fouls, we will get yellow cards. The thing is, if you have a plan like Sundowns, it will work for you. But if you are Kaizer Chiefs, if you are Pirates, you want to use Sun because you don't have that.
Yeah. You just cut there a little bit. They heard you talking. They were like, I said, cut. Go on, my brother.
Okay. I was just saying, if you wanna use a plan your Sundowns that was initially started 6 years ago, you wanna use it now. My brother, you don't have the background of that. You don't have the backbone to do that. You don't have the players to do that. Going to players, Sundowns players, people, why can't people who want to play for PSL, why can't players from PSL want to play for other teams so that the whole PSL can be a professional? Because now I only see Sundowns and I don't know, Sundowns, let's say Sundowns and Pirates, they are the only one that are playing football. But if we want the whole PSL to be competent, to draw more viewers, other players must be able to say, you know what, I know his standard is Samsukon, and my standard was I was playing for Pirates. Pirates was big. I went overseas. And now I'm coming back. Let me just go and sign for Cape Town City. Let me go play for Cape Town City. Let me go play for Polokwane City. Let me go play for Chipa United. No, they all want to play for Sundowns. What about the other teams?
But
Yes,
the question becomes,
there.
what are you offering that player? I mean, it's the same as I'm a star player for Chipa. I'm a star player for TS Galaxy. What is TS Galaxy and Chipa offering me in order to help me with my career? Maybe I want to go play in the CAF Champions League. Maybe I want to go be seen in Africa. Why would I want to stay at TS Galaxy, for example? No disrespect to them.
Yeah.
But why would I want to stay there, or why would I want to sign there if you're not going to take me forward? You know, it feels as though we want players to do us a favor by not taking the money, not getting chances outside. We want them to do us a favor instead of looking at these other teams and saying, guys, what are you offering them? How many teams in the PSL can look at a star player and say, listen, my guy, we star setu. Our commitment to you is that in the next 2 years, Stiagu Confed, for example. How many teams can do that? Because for me, it feels like the league and the rest of the teams, it's become a place where we're asking Sundowns for a favor. No, Sundowns, you have the money, but don't sign my player. Do me a favor this week. We know you're trying to kill everybody else, but you wake up one day and not do. I think that's the issue here.
Yeah, see, I will take that point as point valid. When you look at Abo Manyisa, they played for Sundowns, and then they were out of the face of football of PSL. When you look at Abo PSL, so not blaming the Sundowns. Then it comes back to this thing. One of the players from a development, I think, was the player from Val. One of the and I saw that one from Vino. Sorry to bring up in other platform, in your platform, but I saw a player from Vino. I think it was Vino.
No.
That player was complaining about we in development, we are playing a football that is different from what they are playing in PSL. So it takes us almost 7 years to adapt in what we are playing here in development. When we are 20 years and then they sign us, they say, fine, we see you, we see what you play, come join us, but now we want you to leave whatever you've been practicing. We want you to join the European football. See, that it will take another how many years to adapt from that Kasi style to European football. It will take 3-4 years to do that. By the time you trying to adjust is the minute we see, okay, this guy is not well professional, we must at least try somebody else. So that's why you see rotation of players.
Okay.
You see new faces, you see abo coaches, like it's a confuser. You look at Kaizer Chiefs, they signed players before they signed a coach. Like, why would you do that? How? Who's gonna play those players? Only Fenteki came after the players. And then
Go on.
yeah, and then you sign someone who could have been a coach, who has a record, who has a trail of record. This guy was a coach, and then you take that guy, you put him as a head of scout, you put him with development. What kind of a thinking is that? Unteki should have been with development. Unteki doesn't have a history.
Yeah.
So it's Kaizer Chiefs killing themselves. It's Pirates killing themselves for rotating coaches. But I can see Pirates now is playing a wonderful football. And if Pirates meet with Sundowns in the final, they are meeting. They are meeting.
They are
Sorry
meeting,
about that. I would have liked to watch that game live and see what will happen to Sundowns.
Okay.
Because now they saw what Pirates is capable of.
I will see. We'll see, my brother. For time's sake, Rino, I'm gonna come to you. Rino, I'm gonna come to you. Okay, thank you so much. Lord, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you, my brother. You?
I'm okay, my brother. I'm okay. Firstly, how do you feel about Mamelodi Sundowns in general? And then, why are the other teams not fighting? Or it doesn't seem like they're fighting?
If you can remember, the first time when Motsepe took over to Sundowns, he signed Peter Mosimane, and all of us, we didn't have a faith in him, but he gave him a benefit of a doubt that this is the guy that I want to build Sundowns with. And Date Pito asked for Patrice Motsepe, wherever he wants the resources, is he going to provide? And he definitely provided. And he delivered. There is no doubt about that. It shows the belief and the support from the owner, the management. Okay. So he had a trust to build from scratch. Even though Sundowns was not that bad on that state, but from where Pizzo he took it from nothing to something else.
But let's not discount the years before that, the Motsepe. There are plenty of coaches that came through the door.
Yes, but there was a different administration on that. Remember, it was that time of the Chitlas families.
No. So, before Pizzo, Bobo, Stoichkov, I believe Gamondi, Nieskens, I'm forgetting the others, but they were all under Motsepe from 2004.
Yeah, but you can check those coaches. They never spent such a long time like what Pizzo spent it at Sundowns. There was a time where we felt like we don't have a faith in him anymore. He must go. That's when Motsepe was standing and saying, no, this is the guy I want to be with. And I'm building the team for the next coming 10 years, which was true. Sundowns is what it is now because of the faith that Motsepe had in Biso Mosimane. And I remember one day when people they were talking about why Sundowns is paying players so much money. And Tate Motsepe said, you must remember, guys, football is a short-term career. Let these guys make money while they still can. So it's the same thing to you. You owning a company, then you have a financial muscle to fund your company. Don't you need the best for your company? You employ the best to take your company forward. So I hear people saying Sundowns, they destroying football, South African football. I like what Pizzo did. He signed the best players and put it into Sundowns. He makes sure that he take all the stars that he wants into Sundowns, and he said to them, "Yeah, this is not a hotel. You need to play for you to be on the starting lineup every day." So he encouraged the competition within the players. A player must prove himself to be on the Sundowns starting lineup. We don't say just because of your comedies and then you are famous, you've been playing regularly at Orlando Pirates that you need to be started off eventually. No, you need to prove yourself. Remember, there is 3-4 players that can play on the same role, but you need to take to up your game so that you can be on the starting lineup every day.
Yeah.
And the problem that I see now, what is happening within the PSL, is not just only Pirates, Chiefs, and other teams. It's the squad rotation, like what we spoke about yesterday. If we can check the current Chiefs and the current Pirates, it's having the same problem with squad rotation. You're playing the same players each and every 5 games. So if you don't have the replacement player, what you gonna do? Because obviously the match fitness is not there, the game time is not there, which is very important for the players. You're playing for instance, what we were talking yesterday about the Stellenbosch. That problem is not only a Stellenbosch problem only. Most of the PSL teams, even the player like the team like Kaizer Chiefs, it's even the same problem. When they play solos and playing other game, other like TS Galaxy, they don't up the game like when they play like Sundowns. What's wrong? What is wrong with the system, guys? What is wrong? What is wrong with the mindset of the local coaches? Because you can't only win the game by only beating Sundowns. Check in each and every team that is playing against Sundowns.
Yeah.
Is playing different than when he's playing other games. What is wrong, guys? It shows that the capability, these guys, they want to do it, but they do it differently. What is happening? Why they don't up the game every time? They take the same performance and translate to other teams. Why are they doing it only when they play Sundowns? What is happening, guys? What is the mindset of the coaches? Is it the coaches telling them you must go hard for Sundowns, or is only because of Sundowns is only play team to be beaten because of the records and the stats? It mustn't be like that, guys. Something is wrong in our PSL team. And I was this morning I was arguing another guy in them. I was telling him, you know what Rulani is doing? That young boy Siyabonga Mabena, is building him to be another kind of a monster. Is giving him an opportunity to play with the big fish like Zwane and Mukwenas. That 30 minutes, 45 minutes each and every game is building that guy into something else. Is gaining the physique, the mental, the match fitness, and the experience to play with the big fish.
He's learning.
Yes, it's learning. Yes, it's learning a lot. After maybe 1.5 years, it's going to turn into something else. Then we're going to forget that this guy was been playing for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The squad rotation, guys, is very, very much important. Let's give the young guys the chance so that they can play with the big fishes, so that they can get experience. We're building for the future. We mustn't forget that we're building for the future, not building for now. Okay. It seems like our coaches, they're worried about now, not about tomorrow. And tomorrow it starts now.
Okay, my brother. Thank you for joining me. We'll speak about that proper as well, because that's something that we need to look at going forward. Let me bring in Umtandeni. How are you doing?
Good.
So those are my two questions. How do we feel about Sundowns and its relation to the PSL? And then also, why are the other teams not fighting?
All right, bro. Yeah, thanks a lot for the opportunity. First of all, we as fans must just watch football with our brains and understanding. Siyakubuka ngenhliziyo ibhola out here. So Sundowns has nothing wrong they're doing. All they do is they're sticking to what they know and forgetting about what they don't know. So I think what has happened is Motsepe has a foundation in terms of how Sundowns play, the culture of Sundowns.
Shushan and
That
Piak.
is, yeah, that is Sundowns. That is Sundowns. Whoever buys players must buy players that are Sundowns philosophy in terms of their minds. Let me make you an example. We all know that before Sundowns had John Dlale, back in the days, then they tried to bring in Brian Baloyi. That was like in their goalkeeping system. So they had the guys like Fofepen McCarthy, Michael Manzini, all those guys playing at the back. Abu Ezra Miandoro. Look now, they still have Abu Mvala, Abu Kekana, all those guys playing like the very same guys were playing back in the days. That is their structure. So coming into today's football style, I think Pirate, Sundowns, and Chiefs, if we have looked at games as well, we're playing similar football. It's just a matter that our teams, they don't understand how to do it because we don't do it frequently. If you take a look at Pirates and Sundowns game, that game was a pound-to-pound game. Both teams were playing 4-3, and when they're marking, they were playing 4-5-1. So that tells you to say the football that they are playing, they're playing more than football. If you take a look at Pirate, we have Ukogi at the back, we have Usbisi, we have Marco, we have Monyane Oshando. Then we have this guy, Tabang Monare, we have Undlondo, we had Baloni, we had Maswanganyi, we had Saling, we have Oratomo, then he's striking with the passer. I'm just making an example. Then come back to Sundowns. They're all playing that kind of football as well. Bano Muta, they go to Kekana, they go. So those lineups, they are similar. The only fact is that when it comes to applying the football in terms of that, Sundowns had an upper hand because Leon Dubai applied a long way before us. That means that is Pirates and Chiefs. So fans are impatient now because they're looking for immediate results, of which cannot happen. It cannot happen. So that takes us into a point of which trust the process. Trusting the process doesn't mean that you must win games. Trusting the process means that there's a team moving toward the correct direction or right direction. So if you look at Chiefs, making an example, they're playing similar to Manchester United. Manchester United last season, they won games, Gabo 1-0, 2-0, 1-0, 2-0. Marcus Rashford was their main guy because they are Korama goal. But that foundation, but there was no foundation. They were just because of playing. And they were winning matches. Everybody was happy. Today, they're getting exposed at a higher point or at a higher stage. Now they're feeling like the coach is no more the right guy for the job.
Yeah.
Looking at Pirate fans, we as Pirate fans, we don't mind losing as long as the team is sticking to what they know. Last week, we were beaten by Sundowns. We remained at the stadium. We sang with the guys, not because we were not hurt, but we were happy that throughout the game, our team played the right football that we want to see as fans. We're not trusting this 3 points that we lost today. We're trusting the 3 points that we're going to make or end tomorrow. Then when it's coming to buy players, you replace a player by a similar player out here. when Sundowns lost Nyandoro, they bought a lot of guys. Let me make you an example. With the head Jali, Bebano Jali, there was this other guy. Sonpo, you understand? Mukwena is another Jali, bro. That is identical. Mukwena is another Jali. If in the structure, they look for replacement similar. Bebeno Mailula, not so long ago. Mailula left, but Tengo Ripero. Ripero is another Mailula. You can see, even if he's Zeke, it is the same thing. Understand? When it comes to Pirate, we bought players back in the seasons, about 2018, 2017 season. We bought players that were not Pirate material. Why I'm saying that, we still had Abonyauza, we had Abochele. The kind of players that we brought in, they were not the kind of players that were replacing the existing players. If you're taking a look now at our coach, last season when we started the season, we coached my figure. We had the random guys. We bought to Kog, we bought to CBC, we bought, then we had to Marco, Sakupulu Mayela, Umonyane, I'm sorry. But then if looking at Umonyane and Shandu, they're playing similar. Whoever plays, we are comfortable. Looking at Kog, Shandu, and whoever plays, it's right. Whoever plays, we are comfortable with. Then if looking at Ndlondo, that is another. There's no Charlie back then. There's no Charlie, there's no Manyisa who were playing our middle. Monara, they're playing similar football to what that.
Yeah.
For me, I think that is what gonna take Pirate further, and that's why Pirate is closer to Sundowns. But with other teams, they're still gonna struggle because they don't have culture. If you're looking at the Chiefs, how can you sell Malulega, the guy who's on constantly line up to Sundowns? Why would you sell somebody who plays each and every single game? That tells you which man is more important than the culture of the team. You don't care about defense. After selling Katsande, who did we buy? Because from my understanding, if they sold to Katsande, they should at least went for a central midfielder.
CDM, yeah.
So they don't have that. They lost about Parker. Losing Parker was a very big mistake again. But then they don't care. Now they're just buying players just because they're just selling and buying players for the sake of just buying players. Now they have Umteto. He's a very good guy. They're replacing Katsande. But Chiefs fans must understand one thing. It won't be a nice job. Then tomorrow Chiefs will be playing good football. It won't be like that. It cannot.
But
be
then,
like that.
can I ask you? Are we still making it an easy? Is it still an easy excuse? Because I've said, for example, here on this show that I can shout and scream, I can say all of the things, but at the end of the day, it's up to Abo Pobi, it's up to the other owners in the league to stick with the visions that they created. You know, it can't be that when fans scream. I mean, Pizzo was thrown, things were thrown at Pizzo, for example. Fans didn't like him, but it was Motsepe who said, listen, guys, I chose this person and I have a vision for this club. But then if Chiefs is blaming the fans, or if people are blaming fans for changing the direction of the club, isn't that where the problem lies?
From my understanding, bro, I think let's just talk about Chiefs specifically.
Yeah.
If you're looking at how Chiefs play, the fans are angry, not because Chiefs is losing. They just not misinterpret this. The fans are not. The fans doesn't care about the result. Yes, they're affecting them, but then the problem is they don't see Chiefs progressing correctly. The progress is not there. That's what makes the fans fight, and that's what was making Pirate to fight so much. And under JZ, under Joseph Zimbabwe, we won MTN8, but everybody was worried to say our team is not progressing, it's not going to the right direction. Making you an example, Jose Riverio lost 3 games in a row. One not against Joaneng, one lost against Sundowns, one lost against Stellenbosch. Are we as fans concerned about that? Yes, we are. But then we have faith that our team, by the time we're reaching the final, of which is a 1 week away from now, we have faith that by the time we're reaching the final, our coach will have fixed something correctly. You understand? So the problem is now with Chiefs, they don't see the progress. Sundowns,
but didn't he earn it though? But didn't he earn it? Because if I was a Pirates fan, I would have faith because Jose's won 2 trophies. You know, so those 2 trophies have bought him time. With Chiefs, on the other hand, for example, again, guys, I don't want to make this about Chiefs, but for example, Atazwane has been at Chiefs for how many years? Mulifinseke has been at Chiefs in management position for how many years? They got kupulated by the management. It didn't work out. Then management changed and brought in Ntseki. How much is management culpable for some of these things? Because you can't ask me to have faith in your vision when you don't seem to have faith in your vision. You're chopping and changing coaches every year. At least to cause I brought in a guy. He's won 2 trophies. Now the fans can be like, you know what? Okay, we're going to relax a bit. Or even if he didn't win the trophies, if Ukoza said, this is my guy, I know where Patrice is going to be in 5 years' time. But with Chiefs, it seems nabo. They're making it up as they go along with a lot of the teams in the PSL, to be honest.
If I can make you an example, bro. Look at Urulani. Urulani at Sundowns. His technical team. There were changes that were made last season after losing to Paris. There were changes. There were guys who were shown the door, of which many fans doesn't know about. Even the fitness coach was changed. They added some of the few guys. You understand? So looking at that, if Chiefs, let me just make you an example. Pirate and Sundowns, if they go pound for pound, their game, actually, when it gets to 70, 75 minutes, you can see the tempo of the game is dropping because their fitness level is starting to get affected now. You understand? Okay. Compared to other teams who their fitness level is not the same. Look at Charlie, the speed that he used over the weekend. That was a full speed going towards the keeper. So it goes a long way to say, does a coach have a right, when you're employing a coach, does a coach have a right to bring in his technical team? Does he bring people that he has worked with before? Does he bring people that he knows what they are capable of? Looking at many teams at the PSL, Sundowns doesn't win matches just because they're beating you 3-0 before halftime. Paris scores like 2-3 goals before halftime. Second, they show that now they beated Royal M. I think it was for something. When they played Royal M, they got a chance, they used it. But second half, you can tell that Paris now, the fatigue was starting to play the role and stuff like that. Then going to the next game, as a coach, you know exactly to say, fine, my team is well gelled, but the only thing that matters now is that their fitness level is not at its best. Comes to Chiefs, their game is so slow. The guys fatigue is striking so much on the guys. The team is not fit. The whole team is not fit. You can see the way they're playing. Yes, 1-2 touches. Look at Matlo over the weekend. The guy was playing very, very well before 60 minutes. By the time 65 minutes, the guy is injured. The guy is tired because he's playing alone. You understand? He had to run around. Take a look at Sundowns. When you are taking them, Shalulile, you find him at the center marking the ball. That shows that fitness is there. The whole Sundowns, the whole 11 team players, they are marking at the back. When they attack, they all attack. Look at Umaswanga and Wiparete. That guy is overworking himself. When Lepasa, that shows, let me tell you this now. This show Lepasa never spent time with the team last season because his fitness level is not at his best. You can tell under Sundowns was nowhere to be seen because he can't mark and attack at the same time. You understand? So the coach that came to Pirate brought in all his technical guys that he knew they're going to work with him correctly, of which is going to be a problem.
Then that's why I ask that. The reason why I speak about Chiefs a lot is because really Atazwane and Mulifinseki are not new. You get what I mean? They're 3 years in. So if Chiefs is having fitness problems, if Chiefs is having different players not being right or whatever, Abontseki were part of the decision making. Tseki specifically was part of the decision making, for example. So all of these things, you'd imagine that somebody who's been inside the club and has seen these things firsthand with his own eyes would change these things when they come in, And I think the point that I was trying to make was that if you believe that Ntseki is your man, if you believe that whatever the coach is your coach, you can't be swayed by fans. when Patrice Motsepe and everything was happening with Upitso, he came out and said, guys, I know my plan. And my plan says that in the next 3 years, 5 years, Pitso is going to be the number one coach or whatever he believes. But if Chiefs, for example, itself can't stick with its own plan, you know what I mean? Can't stick with it and say, Zwane might be struggling now, but we chose Zwane as Kaizer Chiefs management. Therefore, we are going to give him 5 years or however long it takes. We are going to stand behind him. But it seems nabo. You get what I mean? These problems are not new. We've known about not having a CDM. We've known about fitness. Everybody complains about the Sehanyata, our team. Everybody complains about that. If we know it and we've seen it, what about management? You get what I mean? These players that are coming in were picked by Unseki said they did a squad audit at the end of last season. They looked at the squad, who must go, who must come in. So he was part of the decision making. You know, the fact that they don't have a preseason, it's like, but guys, you guys were there. Surely the preseason doesn't hinge on a coach, for example. Shouldn't we be asking those questions very quickly before I move on, just for time?
Yeah. No, my chief, thank you for that. I think if we can ask football now and pro. But what I will say is, especially for Sundowns, what I will say is, I think Rulani is the right man. Why I'm saying that, Sundowns got a foundation. He's working overtime. We mustn't take credit just because we don't like Rulani. He's working overtime, that man, and if he's copying from someone else, if he's copying from Pep Guardiola, whoever, he's doing great. You understand? Like he knew Patrice was gonna beat him. He applied Pito's session to say, guys, we're going physical. We don't give them a chance. We're playing hard with them. He knew our boys were soft. That's how we beat Patrice. Same thing with Chiefs. But when it comes to Patrice again, all I'm saying is Patrice is moving toward the right direction. Should they win a trophy this season or not a trophy? The fact is, the coach with the squad rotation that he has, he already has his starting 11. Other players are going to just adjust. When it comes to Chiefs, what I will say is, from my side, I think they need a brave coach. When you remember 2016, 2017, Chippa United signed Tentens Malisela. Then when Tentens came, he came with his technical team. And Chippa was playing tiki-taka football, very lovely. They were beating everybody. You understand? So all I can comment about at this stage is that I think for me, players at Chiefs are fine. And then there is a little progress. What their team needs to do is, I think management must just intervene in terms of saying, Nzeki, you are the man for the job. All we're waiting for is the result. Don't give a guy to say, I want titles. Just give a guy to say, I want you to be on top 5. I want us to be the most scoring team, then less conceding. Then from that side, Nzeki can appoint whoever one works with. Thanks, man.
No. Thank you, Mtandeni. I you know what, guys? For me, I just feel like we let the teams off the hook. George on TikTok, Men B at the field, Kabelo GP, Papa. That shouldn't be what changes a strategy of a team. You know, they should be the ones that go, we've done the research. We hired this person for a reason. Therefore, we are going to keep this person here. You get what I mean? So you guys might not agree, but there's plenty of things that are happening behind the scenes that you guys won't understand. And we are putting our heads on the block to say that this is going to work. And I think what's happening at our teams, at some of our teams, Chiefs and other teams, is that they're going, no, we're not going to put our heads on the block and say, Unseko wetu. We're going to come out and say, no, Chiefs this, no, Chiefs fans. No. You guys chose him. We weren't here for interviews. We weren't here for any of the stuff. If you have faith with him, show that you have faith with him. The one thing Motsepe does very well is, I've chosen Pitso. I have a plan with Upitso. I will back Upitso. I will buy the players. I'll do everything. And me, as an owner, I'll step back. You do what you need to do. But if every now and then, when Mamelodi Sundowns fans are saying something, or these people are saying something, or the media is saying something, and I chop and change, after a while, you've created a pattern. And now the fans know if Tina Simfundlo Muntu, for whatever reason, I'm not at Chiefs every day. I don't know what happens in the back. I don't know. It's not my job to know all of that stuff. But if they believe it, why are you changing coaches every year? Anyway, Rino, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Right,
Rino, tell me, what are your general thoughts about Mamelodi Sundowns in relation to League Yetu? And then secondly, why are the other teams not fighting?
Hey, but I would put it this way. I would say, okay, I love what Sundowns is doing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I am 100% a Kaizer Chiefs fan. Sundowns is ahead of all of us. Now, if you look at what Sundowns has done, or the reason why we all say Mr. Motsepe backed Upito, I think they had a conversation. I wouldn't know how it went, but it probably went something like, listen, I have a plan for the team here, and if I sign, this is what I want, and this is the reason why I want to do this. And just like anyone else would accept, because Pito understood Oguti Ebola is changing. Pirates is still playing the same old Pirates. Same with Chiefs, same with Super Sports and so forth. They haven't changed. I'm talking about the system. I'm not talking about players, but they're still using the same way. That is why Pirates lose. I mean, that's why Pirates lost. That's why Chiefs lost. You understand? Because Sundowns is already ahead of us. You look at how these guys train. You look at how these guys sign players, how these guys do things. They do things way different than us. See, now we're still using the same thought. We can see it's not giving us nothing.
Yeah.
You know? And then you go overseas, you look at leagues like your Bundesliga, your Italy, your whatever, and you see no, man, even the formation that are being used these days are different from what we are doing. The way big teams that want to compete for leagues or Champions League and so forth, the way they're signing is different. But it's similar to how Sundowns is doing. You understand? So that is where Sundowns is dominant, and that is where Chiefs, Pirates, and all other teams are lacking. And to be honest with you, the final on the 7th, that's just a landslide for Sundowns.
Yeah, man.
That's a landslide. And if you don't believe it, I'm being serious, because look at how Pirates played against Stellenbosch. Pirates had no direction. Okay. Literally, they didn't know what to do with the ball. All they had was speed and combining passes. But they're not finding Ulipasa, or they're not playing behind the defense. All they're doing is they're using tempo.
Okay.
So what Pirates has done this season, they signed quality players, yes, but have they actually signed players to win games? No, they haven't, because when push comes to shove, they don't deliver. Yeah, it is exciting because it's new players. You see udlalwa kanje, but Sundowns, hey, when you see Sundowns play 3-4-3 against a 4-3-3, automatically Sundowns has won that game. Yeah, because these people are gonna dominate you from every aspect of the game. And all the other teams, they still approach Sundowns in 4-5-1, no man 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Izokushaya Sundowns. Because these people, when they sign, like when they sign, who's this guy Mudau? Mudau plays as a winger. Mudau plays as a right back. You understand? You sign Williams. Williams plays as a goalkeeper and also as a sweeper. Now you go to Pirates. You sign who do you sign? Who's this guy, man? Who's this guy? Who's this Voti? What's his name? Kim Voti is just a 10. That's what he does. He's a playmaker. He's not an 8. He doesn't come and collect it as a 6 and all of that. So in Sundowns, every player that plays there can play 2 positions. That's why when they lose the ball, Shalulile can come and press as an 8 here in the middle and win the ball and then play it up front.
Okay.
So that's what these guys are so ahead of us. They don't have a player that can only do one thing. And that is why they let go of Lisedi Kapinga. Because as much as he's good on the ball, off the ball, he doesn't give them anything.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't play him as much last season.
Okay.
You understand? So seeing Patrice, yes, is nice, but Patrice is playing with tempo. He's not playing with direction. You understand? And they can keep up their tempo, but play behind the defense. You can't play 5 touches, drifting, moving sideways. You have to play 1-2, play in between them, eliminate a player, find your striker or your attacking, and then shoot the target. How many shots on target did they shoot that day?
I'm just gonna have to jump in. Yeah, we'll analyze them. We'll have a day where we analyze them. Just for time now, I think I'll just have to jump in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I got time to bring nje just to
go on, finish it off.
No, yeah, okay. Ngalokho what njengoba ngisho nje. Yes, njengoba ngisho mfethu, i-Sundowns, that is the only reason is ahead of the Kaizer Chiefs and all other teams. When it signs, it looks for a player who can give them 2 for the price of 1. You understand? Because look at that, this game when they played against Chiefs. Kekana, when Sundowns signed to Kekana, they didn't sign to Kekana as Eland.
Yeah.
As attacking or defensive midfield.
Okay, my brother.
Do that.
Okay, no.
Understand?
But we'll break down.
We'll
We'll break them down properly another day. Just for time, I have to let Israel in. We'll speak about them properly. We're gonna do a breakdown.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me bring in Israel. Israel, how are you doing?
Okay, sharp.
Sharp, Rino, thank you.
I'm good, bro. And how are you doing today?
I'm okay, my brother. I'm okay. I'm just this Sundowns topic grinds my gears because I feel like we let our teams off the hook. But tell me what your thoughts are. What are your general thoughts about how Sundowns relates to the league, and also why aren't these other teams fighting?
So I will take it back as well, but I will be very brief about everything.
Okay.
Because I remember before pizza, right? Sundowns used to be known like as a team that buys all these big name, like players. But what was the problem at that time? We used to win like things, but not as not as consistent as it is now.
Yeah.
The problem at that time, it used to buy like any person that is doing well, bring them in the team. But when Pizzo came, he came with a totally different mentality to say, before I bring someone, I need to see where am I gonna play that person, and before they play, I'm gonna give them maybe 2 or 3 games to sit on the bench to see how do we as Sundowns, understanding the culture of the team and the philosophy of, then that person will be integrated bit by bit, maybe starting to play 15 minutes, 20 minutes, up until they understand and gel with all the guys. So
And what's best about the whole organization, it's that the coach is given like everything to say, okay, who do you want as a coach? Because we want, if the results are not coming, then we, as the organization, we need to, hold you like, as a person that we're gonna accountable. You're gonna be the person accountable for, the results, because you have told us who do you want, and we've given you that person that you want. Then if you're not producing results, then we are blaming you. Okay, it's time for you to go. Not, giving what you promised to say you're gonna give. So from that, this is where, Sundowns is different from the other teams, because on the other teams, you would hear the interference of the people that are in the offices. They interfere with how, the team needs to play, or who has to play, in terms of the players that are chosen, by the coach, So that makes the gap between Sundowns and the other teams.
Okay.
Yes. So it's still gonna be the same until we start to fix this problem of the other team, or of the other like management people being involved on how the team is being managed. So they need to. Otherwise, Sundowns is gonna continue to dominate again and again and again. And it's not nice. It's not really nice, because you see, when it goes to the Champions League, that's where you start to see now the gap between Sundowns and the other teams of Africa, because they're not getting enough competition here at home. Outside now to say, okay, it's a bit like if they had a better competition, maybe they would do better, even Champions League as well. Yes, I think that's what I thought.
No. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much, Israel, my brother, for joining me. I think I'm looking at the time. Look, I'm going to close it by saying this. These are my closing remarks about all of this. And I hope you guys are following me. I hope everybody's following me here, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on TikTok. Please follow. We do this every day, Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. Tomorrow, we're even going to do a watch along for the two matches going to happen. But in any case, here's my thing. I feel as though, again, I don't hate Sundowns. I'm jealous. And I'm jealous because Sundowns is doing everything in their power to make Sundowns the best team it can be. That's it. They're doing everything in their power. When we speak about all of our different clubs and we talk about them and we speak about all of this stuff, can you guarantee to me that Kaizer Chiefs, that Richards Bay, that Chippa United, that SuperSport, Stellenbosch, all of those teams are doing the best that they can do in order to make sure that those teams are the best and can compete? And a lot of us will say what? No. We watch Sundowns now if they win this year, or when they win this year, is 7 leagues in a row. So 7 seasons they've won. Not to mention the fact that they won by 16 points last season, 16 points the season before, 13 points the season before that. And it seems as though it's only us fans who are losing sleep. It's only us fans who are fighting and shouting and all of that stuff. When we speak about money, Sundowns is not the richest team in the league. It's not the richest team. Johan Rupert could wake up tomorrow and change Stellenbosch's everything. SuperSport and MultiChoice could wake up tomorrow and change SuperSport's outlook forever if they wanted to. But this is a man in Motsepe who's owned this team for 19 years. Guys, this is not a thing that happened yesterday. I think people believe that this is the thing that happened yesterday. They believe that, no, guys, Motsepe we tatizolo land. It's 19 years. And for 19 years, from when he signed, when he bought Sundowns and won the league the following year, I think it was Miguel Gamondi, all the signs were there to say that we are chasing. Somebody's coming. And we didn't evolve. And the teams didn't evolve. And what Sundowns is showing more than anything else is that your team is not ambitious. My team is not ambitious. Pirates is not ambitious. Richards Bay is not ambitious. Chippa United is not. None of these teams are ambitious. Because I'll say it one more time. In a league, you play Sundowns twice. Twice. So there's no reason why Chiefs shouldn't be in the Champions League a little bit more in second place. Pirates shouldn't be in the Champions League a little bit more second place. Supersports shouldn't be in the Champions League a little bit more second place. There's no reason why the gap between number 1 and number 2 is bigger than the gap between number 2 and, I don't know, number 8. And that's why I'm saying, for me, no team can look at people. Guys, Sundowns signs players from teams. Teams agree to sell players to Sundowns. Teams also don't make it a proper thing. They don't create an environment where a star player would want to stay at your team. I'm going to say it one more time. Sundowns comes and knocks on the door and says, listen, bro, I'm going to give you X amount of money. I'm going to give you a chance to play in Africa. I'm going to give you a chance to be scouted by some of the best teams. I'm going to give you a chance to get better as a player on your play, on the ground, on the field. That's offer number 1. What's offer number 2? Now, the team I'm coming from. I play for Golden Arrows. What's Golden Arrows saying and providing to me to make me stay? Yes, I'm a star. I'm a star ko herikwala. All my career. Whereas Sundowns, even though, hey, there's a lot of players and hey, there's so many people and all of that stuff and they sign everyone, Sundowns has given me a chance to be on the bench in Tanzania and maybe get a chance to play those big games. How many teams can offer that in the PSL right now? Let's move on to coaches. Guys, I am not a Chiefs shareholder. I am not a Chiefs manager. I am not a Chiefs executive. I am a guy on TikTok who speaks about Chiefs. If I have the power to change a coach, something's wrong. If I have the power, if me sitting at home, me going to the stadium, me doing whatever, has the power to change a coach, then you have to question your team. What is their vision? Do they believe in that vision? And are they showing that they believe in that vision? Lastly, we speak about, and I've said this a few times, we speak about PSL teams being run like businesses. Those aren't teams that are run like business. Tate Motsepe is running Sundowns like a business. And you know what that means? One, heavy investment has to come in. Heavy investment. If you're running a business and you're building something and you want to go towards something, you have investment costs. For Sundowns to get here, they had to go through Angel Kappa, Stoichkov, Gamondi. They had to go through Kimang Nieskins. They had to go through all these guys. That were all those. That's all investment costs. All these guys in order to find the pizza. or in order to learn enough so that when we find a pizza, we know what we do with pizza being there. That's a business. 1, investment. Number 2, you find the best people and you let them run the club. Tate Motsepe runs that thing as though the coach is a CEO. I, as the chairman of the board, I don't tell you what to do. I may critique your vision, we may speak about it, but we leave it to you and your staff. We leave it to the people I've put into these positions. Then mine is to come back at the end of the year and say, listen, these were the goals we were going for. You didn't get these goals. Well, we're going to go find someone better. If any of these owners were running their teams like they run their businesses, we'd have a different PSL. If Uba Mpengesi, for example, was running his team like he runs his businesses, heads would have rolled a long time ago, and he wouldn't be fighting relegation every single year. So is this real business? Because now, all of that investment that Motsepe did has paid off immensely for him. All of the investment. Sundowns is even starting to generate its own money through sponsors now. But it's because they understood that, hi guys, when we're building something, we get the vision, we hold the vision, we build toward the vision. If you remember what he said when he first bought this team, he said, I want Sundowns to be an African team. I want Sundowns to be a top of Africa. I want them to compete on that level. Never mind PSL. And then he went ahead and did that. 19 years. This is not something that happened overnight. So all the teams were taken by surprise. All of the teams who don't know what to do. It's been 19 years that this man had this team. So if you guys didn't wake up and you're still not waking up, you know, I fight my team all the time. I fight about my team all the time because one thing, 8 seasons without a trophy. You've watched Sundowns win a star. Do you know how much it hurts? You watched Sundowns win a star. Paris won 2 trophies last season. At what point do our owners, at what point do our managers and leadership at these clubs wake up and say, but guys, we should be doing more? Or is it me? Is it you guys? Is it a bunch of creators? Is it Junior Kanye? Is it Nkululeko? Is it these people? Are those the only people that are going to be speaking about this? Are those the only things that they're going to be speaking about? So for me, guys, I don't want to let our coaches, our teams off the hook. They need to get better. I as a fan, I as a football fan, cannot ask Sundowns to stop doing what they're doing. It's not their job. Their job is to be the best team that they can be. And if it means signing all the best players, even if that's true, all the best players and weakening the competition, it's what they must do. If that's what it must be. But it's up to the other teams to go, you know what, guys, we're tired. 7 years of you guys, or however many years of you guys signing our best players. At some point, you have to go, no, guys, enough is enough as a league. Hey, Bob Koza, Tate Kaizer, we need financial fair play to fight it. Hey, guys, nah, we're not going to sell anyone. We're not going to sell anyone. We're not moving them on because we want to build. We'll take a loss this year so that we can build for the next 2 years. Just as Motsepe took a lot of that Sundowns team took losses. They need to raise the bar. They need to find a solution. But it doesn't seem as though anybody loses sleep. No one loses sleep outside of Sundowns. No one loses sleep about Sundowns' success outside of Sundowns and the rest of us. So yeah, This is what I'm saying. What's Robbie saying? Robbie Stellies just made 44 million by selling 4 players. Is that failure? How much did Johan Rupert make last year? How much did Johan Rupert make last year? The owner. How much? How much can he spend? How richer is Johan Rupert than Motsepe? And if he is, why isn't he spending? Again, back to talking about all of this. I'm not going to expect Sundowns to wake up one day and make it easy for us. I expect our teams to wake up and make it harder for them. But yeah, it doesn't seem like that's happening. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Remember, guys, Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, I'm here. Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m., I'm also here. If you missed out on any of the things, you've come in late, there's been really amazing conversations we've had on this here platform. They're available on Facebook. They're available on YouTube. You can watch it there. Now we stream live to TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. So that is an incredible thing. If you have not followed, please follow. Excuse me, if you haven't followed, please follow. If you haven't followed on Facebook, if you haven't followed on YouTube, please join me. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 12:30. I better see some followers, guys. But anyway, guys, I'll see you tomorrow, 12:30. Oh, wait, before I go, thank you to the gifts. Thank you to the people who gives. The Nande Tusinje, Lloyd Mark, Bongani, Qiniso, Togwane, thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you to the commenters. Thank you to everybody that joined the panel. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 12:30.